In this video, I'm going to show you how you can sell $100,000 on Amazon your first year, guaranteed. And we're going to be sourcing used books. Used books are the best category to get started on Amazon because 10% of Amazon sales are book sales. That's a lot. And they're probably the easiest item to find. There's literally millions of used books in all cities. And in this video, I'm going to go over exactly how you can find the books, how you can determine if they're profitable, like advanced strategies for really milking your city. Like people don't realize how much money's in books. And we're going to go over, all these different strategies super quickly. So you may want to watch this video a few times. And at the end, I'm going to show you the fastest way you can get these books active for sale on Amazon. And also, make sure you're making the most money possible because you worked hard to find all the books. Let's make sure that you get as much profit as possible. Okay, so as I promised, I'm going to guarantee that you're going to make $100,000 your first year selling books on Amazon. And this is $100,000 sales. So you're probably going to be left with 40 grand profit at the end of the day, at a 40% margin, maybe 50 grand profit if you have a high average sales price. So in order to do 100,000 in sales, we need to find 4,545 books. I rounded up at an average of a $22 average sales price. Okay. So every book has to sell for at least $22 or more, which is, typical for cherry picking booksellers like us. And you're going to need to find this many books, but because not all your books are going to sell, let's shoot a little bit higher. So instead of just doing 87 books a week, which would put you right at that 45 mark, let's shoot for 120 books a week. So let's just round up. And just in case my math was off there, we're also going to round up so you can ensure that all the books you send in are, not all of them are going to sell. So the whole point is probably if you send in 1,000 books, you might sell 800 and then 200 is going to go to trash. That's just the name of the game. So don't freak out if books don't sell. Again, my name is Avery, aka Roma the Roamer, and my claim to fame is a few years ago, 6 years ago now, I'm getting old. I lived in my car, strapped a canoe on the top of it, and I decided, hey, I'm going to travel the country. I had never been out west before, and I lived in my car, went out west, and I read a blog by this guy, Caleb Roth, the book flipper, how he went to Tulsa, Oklahoma with his wife. And in one weekend, they found $5,000 in profitable books. They went on a sourcing trip. They scanned books at thrift stores and libraries. They made $5,000 profit in one weekend. I figured if you can make $5,000 profit in one weekend, I could probably make $5,000 on a trip across the country. So the way I funded my travels was going into thrift stores, libraries. These are the only places I knew how to find books back then. I'm going to give you guys way more game on where to find books. But back then, I only knew libraries sold books. Thrift stores sold books. I went in, scanned a few hundred books. I would go to my car. Once I got about 2 boxes of books, I would go to a Starbucks. I would connect to the Wi-Fi. I would list the books, and then I would ship them out to Amazon. And I did 80,000 in sales my first year, probably around a 40% margin. And that's how I started my book business. Okay, so I'm just saying this so you guys know I'm legit, and I'm not a complete internet scammer scamming you guys out of your money. By the way, I have no courses to sell you or anything like that. I do have a software that helps you list books, but that's about all I sell. So don't worry about like a course pitch at the end of this. Also, then after I did 80,000 in sales, I started a consignment book business where I would sell people's textbooks for them. Amazon sellers, there's a huge community, there still is a huge community of Amazon sellers in the Facebook groups. Highly recommend you go check those Facebook groups out. But I found out none of them could sell textbooks. I could, so I told the whole community, hey, send me your textbooks. Everybody did. And boom, did over 1 million in sales that year. And so that's my business, restrictedinventory.com. So that's just some context on me. And this is literally my entrepreneurial journey. Like I really didn't have success doing anything before this. I cut grass. I had a dog care business when I was like 10 years old. But this is like the first thing that really took off. Okay, so let's get to the meat and potatoes of this. Rule number 1, make sure that you're buying good shit. This goes for any Amazon business. I just dropped 100,000. I'm actually spending 140,000 between me and my partner today on wholesale inventory. And the only reason why we're buying this inventory is because it has healthy profit and healthy demand. It's the same exact thing in a book business. You're only going to buy books that have healthy profit and healthy demand. That's all we care about. If it's got healthy profit, no demand, we don't want it. If it's got high demand, no profit, we don't want it. We want those two things to be true. It has to be profitable and it has to sell. That's all that matters. So for the book business, what I recommend is a tool called Scout IQ. I'll put my link below. If you guys want to support the channel and allow me to buy some more coffee, I think I get like a few bucks each time you guys sign up to that link. And if not, then fine, just go to scoutiq.co. There's also Scoutly, another app you can use, a little bit cheaper, but I do prefer Scout IQ. Also, if you're doing online arbitrage, or really like, I use this in my wholesale business, SellerAmp, and I have FlipMine on here. I don't really use FlipMine, but SellerAmp that's another profit calculator that you put in your computer, and it's great. So if you're doing online arbitrage or anything like that, like at the end of the day, what I just said, about healthy profit, healthy demand, these profit calculators are helping you determine that. And we only want to buy stuff, after Amazon fees that's profitable and that sells. So it's a numbers game. It's a numbers game. Aside from measuring the profit, you want to measure your effort. And, over the next few slides, I'm going to drop a few little subtle things at you guys, but really like these subtleties make or break your experience selling on books on Amazon. Like this is 100% going to determine, are you successful or are you not? And so there's 3 ways to increase your profit. And there's, some metrics you can measure for yourself. And I recommend you do this because I did not do this starting out and I almost quit. So I recommend you do this. Number 1, scan better inventory. I'm about to, in just a second, your mind's going to be blown. Literally 6 years of knowledge condensed into probably 5 minutes of presentation. I'm going to show you guys where to get the best inventory ever for used books. So hang tight. So if you scan better inventory, obviously you're going to get more profitable books, as opposed to scanning inventory that everyone else has already scanned. If you go scan inventory that everyone else has already scanned, like at your local Goodwill, and there's 10 resellers there, that inventory is not going to be as good as the private collection of books that you could be scanning elsewhere. The next thing is scan more. Even if you're let's say you're at a mediocre source and you've been there for an hour and you've only found 10 books, which wouldn't be terrible, assuming they're $10 profit a piece, you just made $100. Well, you found 10 books in an hour. If you could scan twice as many books at that same source, then you would leave with twice as many books. So scan more, scan faster. It's going to allow you to get more inventory at the end of the day. Okay. So I have a title here that says how to find $10,000 of profitable items. You can literally make up any number, but in this video, we're talking about how to make your first 100,000 on Amazon in 1 year, which again is about 5,000 books for the year. Let's just say 120 books a week. So there's more than one way to skin a cat. There's so many different ways to find books. There's, when I started this book business, all I was doing was going to libraries and thrift stores. And then quickly I started going to these book selling meetups, and I found like there's so many people doing so many different things to find books. And I'm about to reveal almost all of them here in this presentation. So take notes, kids. All right, thrift stores. Number 1, when you go to a thrift store, there's obviously books on the shelves at the thrift store, duh. But there's also books in the back room. The books in the back room are better. You can get the books in the back room if you ask the manager or the owner of the store for what's called back room access. Don't be afraid to ask for that back room access. When you walk in, walk in with your chest out. You're going to walk in, find a manager. Hey, just tell them straight up, I'm a bookseller. I sell books online. I will buy a bunch of books from you, and I'll even help you organize the books by category. I'll do whatever you want. I'll keep it clean. I've done this before. I've done it before, so I can say that. Don't lie, obviously, but have that attitude of I've done this before, and then you'll get backroom access. And when you scan those books, you're going to be making that money. Books in the back room are always better. That's a pro tip, guys. Like these little things I'm saying in this video, it took me decades to find out. Decades. I'm not even that old. I'm like 3 decades old. It took me a long time, a lot of pain and suffering. So like these little things, like don't just like, no, backroom. No, ask for backroom access, guys. Be there on the days the fresh inventory gets on the shelves. If you're not having success selling on Amazon, it's probably because you're scanning somebody's sloppy seconds. Find out when the manager or when the employees put the fresh books on the shelves. If it's every Tuesday at 9 a.m., get there Tuesday, 9 a.m. Make friends with the employees and managers so they call you first. This is business 101. Get their phone numbers. Bring them energy drinks. Bring them coffee. Be a good person. In the Bible, it says, give out of the kindness of your heart. Sometimes you got to give to get backroom access. No, I was kidding. No, but give out of the kindness of your heart. If you like Jane, if you joked around with Jane, who's the manager of the thrift store, and you're having a good time with her, bring her some coffee if you like her. And even if you don't like her, maybe you could like her one day. So bring her some coffee and you'll probably get backroom access. I always felt weird doing that starting out. But trust me, it works. It works. Become friends with the friends of the library. If you're in the Northeast, those friends of the library groups up in the Northeast are insane. And by Northeast, I mean anywhere from Washington, D.C. to Maine. I've traveled to almost every single state sourcing books, and up there it's insane. In California, it's good too. In the South, it's okay. Everywhere in America, they exist, though. So become friends with the friends of the library. Show up to every library sale early. Buy your friends of the library membership. $15, $20, even if it's $30, pay for it. You'll just go to the sale before everybody else does. That's what the members are. The members are just Amazon sellers most of the time. I feel sorry for the actual members because we go in there. When the library sale starts, we're all just scanning the books as fast as we can. So, I didn't show you guys how to use Scout IQ yet. I'm going to show you guys how to use Scout IQ in just a second. I got my phone here. I got a stack of books. So don't worry. If you're like, how the heck do we determine if these books are profitable? I'm going to show you guys in just a second. Help set up and take down the library sales. So, this just goes back to like business 101, like help people out. Bring coffee and donuts. And eventually, if you talk to them and you're articulate and you explain what you're actually doing, then they'll want to work with you. Probably. Like if they're like, oh, this person's smart, they understand Amazon, you might be their go-to Amazon book person. And that can manifest itself in so many different ways. Maybe you're the person that they just call when they have huge donations of books. Maybe you're the person that helps them sell their books on consignment. Maybe they're like, hey, we have a huge collection. We want you to sell the books for us and pay us, half the payout. And that's a great deal, Used bookstores are also good. Don't be afraid to drop $10, $20, $30 per book. So focus on profit. Focus on the fast selling books. Scan 500 plus an hour. Again, it's a volume game. It depends. Some used bookstores have like stickers and stuff over the books. But if the barcodes are showing, guys, you should be scanning 500 books an hour. And then pay attention to where the fresh inventory is. People always ask me, where should I go? Should I go to the nonfiction, the children's, the fiction? I don't care. Obviously, nonfiction is better. But all things aside, the fresh inventory is the best inventory. So if fiction comes out, and there's fresh fiction, I'm going to the fiction section. I'm not going to the nonfiction because it's fresh. Fresh inventory is the best inventory. College campuses are great. You can ask, and it takes a little bit of balls to do this, guys, but you can ask every department if they have textbooks. Literally walk around campus, ask the biology department, do you have textbooks? Do you have textbooks rotting and collecting dust? Remind them that their books are depreciating in value. Students are not reading them because they're in the closets. And you're going to pay them cash for their books. Remind them of that. Ask the bookstore if they're trashing any older editions. It might be older editions for the campus, but they're not older editions for other campuses all across the country that are buying the books on Amazon. Bring a fast sack of cash. Set up a table. Do a college buyback. Ask the president, head of student affairs, hey, can I set up a table and buy books back during finals week? They may or may not say yes, but if they do say yes, you can spend $5,000 in a day and make $15,000 profit. I know a lot of people who have done this. Closeouts. Again, I'm dropping a ton of knowledge here. You guys might want to rewatch this. I made $10,000 profit in one weekend because I found a college that was closing down. I didn't find it. My friend found it. But hey, my friend's luck became my luck because I networked with the community. That's why it's important to network with the book selling community. Get in those Facebook groups. Get in the Discords. Comment on the YouTube videos. I don't know if that'll help you or not, but comment on the YouTube videos. Set alerts for colleges and libraries closing down on Google. So on Google, set alerts for colleges closing down. call them and help them remove all the books and get paid big time. Consignment with friends. I've made over $500,000 profit from selling books on consignment for people. That sounds crazy to say, but it's true. I started a consignment business with strictinventory.com, and I've sold several $1 million worth of books on there. And it's a great deal because I don't pay anything for the books. And then when they sell, I send the profit to the other party, the consignor, or I guess I'm the consignor. I send the profit to the consignee, and we split bread. You can do this with your friends. You can do this with libraries. You can do this with used bookstores. All you have to do is get the books, make sure you list them in a way where you track the source. And I'll show you a super simple method in just a second. And then you split profits with them 50-50. It's a great deal. The good thing about consignment is you don't have to spend any money on inventory. You get it for free. Again, you can use it with libraries, thrift stores, and other businesses. So you've worked hard. You've gone through all these different methods, and I know that was a lot that I just threw at you. And hopefully that provided value. If it did, smash that like button. Helps out, I think. And now you have all these books from all these different methods I just showed you. Let's make sure you make as much profit as possible on these books. So price them intelligently. You don't want to be the lowest price if you don't have to. No reason to be the lowest price if you don't have to. If the book sells fast, price it higher. And if the book has a prime bump, take advantage of that, which goes back to point number 1. Don't be the lowest price if you don't have to. This is the lowest price, $56. Amazon's selling it for $69. You don't have to be 56. If you're going to ship this book to Amazon FBA, which I'll show you guys exactly how to do in just a second, we're going to take these books, we're going to ship them to Amazon. When they're at Amazon, they are now going to have this prime check next to them, which indicates free shipping. Because the book has free 2-day shipping, people are willing to pay 20% more for the book than the lowest price. It's going to take 14 days to get to their house. People pay $50 to $100 for their Prime membership. They are going to pay you more for your book just because it says Amazon Prime. So don't be the lowest price if you don't have to. If you're shipping your books to Amazon Prime, don't compete with the lowest offer where Jane, halfway across the country, is shipping this from her house, and it's going to take 14 days to get to the customer because you shipped your books to Amazon Prime. Amazon guarantees it's going to be delivered to the customer within 2 days, which means you can price it 20% higher. Okay? Hopefully that makes sense. Next thing, and I'm about to show you guys on this slide right here, I'm going to take a break. I'm going to show you guys how to determine if books are profitable because I skipped that portion of the video. But real quick, there's something called sales rank on Amazon. If you can see on the screen here, there's sales rank ranges from 1 to 10 million plus. If a book has a sales rank of 1, that means it's the fastest selling book on Amazon. It's something an author would brag about. Hey, my book is number 1 on Amazon. That means it has a number, that sales rank is number 1. Now, if the book sales rank is 1 million, that means it's the millionth fastest selling book on Amazon at that given second of the day. It's going to be fluctuating. All these books are constantly changing position. So sales rank is simply an indicator of where does this book rank amongst all the other books on Amazon. And the lower the sales rank, the faster selling the book is. So we want lower sales rank. So what I mean by price your faster moving books higher is if the book has a sales rank of less than 125,000, that's a pretty fast moving book. Even if your book is the 125th, how do you say it? 125,000 sales rank, 125,000. Why is it so weird to say, to add TH to like big numbers? The 125,000th book, then that's still a pretty fast moving book. So what I recommend you do is price it not at the lowest offer, but FBA Slot 4, which simply means we're going to price, like this is FBA Slot 1 right here. FBA Slot 4 would be the 4th lowest FBA offer, which may be $10 higher than the lowest FBA offer, which allows you to make an extra $10 in your profit margin. So anyway, yeah, price your faster moving books at higher prices. All right, let's take a break real quick. I didn't show you guys how to determine if books are profitable, so I'm going to pop this up on the screen and we're going to go through the stack of books. So this is an app called Scout IQ, and you click on the scan icon here. And what we're going to do is scan the barcode of the book. And as you can see, it says $8.90 at the top here. Now, if I click on that in the top left corner, it's going to tell me that if we sell this for $19.84, which is the current, let's see, let me pop this up one more time, which is the current, $19.84 is what it thinks we can sell it for because Amazon's selling it for $22. So this app is really smart. It's like you're not going to sell this book for more than Amazon's selling the book. So you can probably sell it for $19.84. The referral fee is $2.98. The closing fee is $1.80. The FBA fee is $5.75. The FBA fee is a fee that Amazon charges to ship the book to the customer. Remember, we're shipping all of our books to Amazon. The referral fee is $2.98. This is the 15% fee that Amazon takes. The closing fee is $1.80. That's just a fee that they charge because they want to. Total fees come out to $10.53. Inbound shipping is 41 cents. That's the fee that it costs to ship the book to Amazon. That's the shipping fee to the carrier. We're left with a total of $8.90 profit. So you can see a lot is going on there. But the cool thing about this app is it just simply tells us the decision with a green or red. You see at the top, it either turns green or red. So let's scan another one. Boom, red. So this will be a reject. Green, this is an accept. And if we look here, it's got a 3,000 sales rank. Remember, low sales rank better. Anything really under 500,000 for books is pretty fast moving. There's another metric we have here called eScore. So the eScore is how many days did the book have at least one day with a sale over the last 6 months. 151 plus means it sold over 151 times over the last 6 months. So if the eScore is 1, that means it's only one day with at least one sale over the last 6 months. So eScore of 1 is a very slow moving book. An eScore of 151 plus is a fast moving book. eScore of 30 is a medium selling book, still pretty slow. So you want to be considering all this. And the cool thing about this app is just like you see on the screen here, we'll pop this back up. The app has triggers very similar to what you're seeing on the screen. So what you're seeing on the screen is sales rank ranges and then what FBA slot it's comparing to. And the way Scout IQ works is the higher the sales rank, which means the slower mover of a book, the more profit is required to turn the app green. So the app turns green when it thinks it's a book that could make you profit. It turns red when it thinks it's a book that would lose you money or not make you any money at all. And so the app will turn green on very slow moving books if they have a lot of profit. The app will turn red on very fast moving books if it doesn't have much profit. And the app has what's called triggers based on sales rank ranges, just like this here, that compare to different prices based on the rank. So the high sales rank books, which means they're very slow selling, are probably going to compare to the lowest price. Whereas the faster moving books are going to compare to FBA Slot 4. So the faster moving of a book it is, the higher the price it's going to compare to, because the app knows if you're patient, you can probably sell the book for more. Which leads back to my point to price your books for what they're worth. Do not price your books too cheap. If you're a prime seller, you should only be competing against other prime sellers. Don't compete against people that have 14-day shipping too cheap, okay? All right. Understand your profit so you can scale. Track your buy costs for all your books. You know, if you go out and you spend $500 on 500 books, your average cost per book is $1. So be sure to track that when you list your books. That way you know, are you making profit or not? Especially if you're paying for, books like $10, $15 a piece. You really want to know, you invested $15 in a book. Is that book going to make you profit or not? And then track where you bought your items. So at the end of the year, you can compare Goodwill to Salvation Army, to Savers, to Powell's Books, to Second and Charles. Guys, I've been all over the country. I know all these bookstores. McKay's Used Bookstore here in the South. You got Half Price Books out in Texas and other parts of the country. Track all your sources. That way you know where are the most profitable places if you purchase books at the end of the year. Maybe you should be spending all your time at Half Price Books and stop going to Second and Charles. Ruthlessly measure your profit so you have the courage to spend an uncomfortable amount on inventory. Today, I'm spending $140,000 on inventory. The only reason why I have the confidence to do that is because I've sold the items in the past. I've measured my profit. I know that I'm making profit, so spending more is easy. It's not scary. It's still kind of scary, but you get my point. At the end of the year, go back to the places that made you the most profit. So if Goodwill made you the most profit and your library didn't make you much profit at all, start hitting that Goodwill more often and maybe stop going to the library. So here's a quick dashboard of a breakdown of your profits. Let's just say you did $22,000 in sales. You start really taking action on this business. This is kind of like realistically what you can expect to make. The total cost, this is actually for my wholesale business. I paid $11,000 for these items. Total fees came out to $5,000. So my true profit is $5,000 after Amazon fees and after what I paid for the item. If you did $22,000 in sales as a bookseller, you can expect this profit to be closer to $8,000 to $10,000 because your buy costs are just so much lower. Also, you can track on a weekly basis. I believe you should be tracking how many items did you list, what your average sales price is, how many items are you selling. And as a bookseller, you want to keep your average sales price higher because that's obviously going to allow you to get a bigger payout from Amazon. And items listed, the more items you list as a bookseller, the more money you're going to make. So if you guys want, if that was a lot of information for you, which I know it was, especially if you're brand new to this, you're probably like, what the heck? You can go to starthumble.com/beast for my 100% free course and challenge. I actually used to do this, the way I'm teaching right now. I used to teach super rapidly, and then I would charge $400 for a course at the end. I no longer do that. This is the course that I used to charge $400 for. You guys can get it for free if you go to starthumble.com/beast. That's also going to enroll you in my Feed the Beast challenge. So we'll show you how shipping 2 boxes of profitable items to Amazon a week can build a profitable Amazon business that generates thousands. And you'll be part of a community where we do weekly calls every single week that I'm available. I travel a lot, so sometimes I can't make it, but most of the time I'm there. And you guys can come on the calls, show your face, turn your cameras on, network with the community. And really the purpose of those calls is to build community, to have you guys share what's working in your businesses and just, share what's working. Like Sherry might say, I just made $1,000 profit cleaning out a preacher's basement. And then now everyone knows that preachers' basements are profitable. So, little things like that. And again, the course has, I don't even know how many videos, but probably like 50 plus videos breaking down how to build your book business. That's all available on starthumble.com. Anyway, let's get back to the presentation. There are 3 key components to scaling a reselling business, and this is how you can measure your success. Find more inventory. So abuse your current sources and look for new. So whatever's working, keep doing that. Don't stop doing whatever's working. If you went to your local mom and pop and the nonfiction section popped and you really crushed it scanning books there, you should be going there every single week. You should find out when they restock those books and just abuse it. Measure your profit per source. Again, super important to measure which places are making you the most money. That way you can dial in on your most profitable places. Reprice your inventory for as much profit in the shortest amount of time as possible. So measure your turn rate. So look at your units sold over the last 30 days. Let's say you sold 200 units, 200 books in the last 30 days, and you have 1,000 in stock. You sold 20% of your inventory. As an Amazon bookseller, you should be selling 20% of your inventory every 30 days. So try to keep that number above 20. So again, units sold divided by how much inventory do you currently have in stock. Also measure your average sales price. I said this earlier, but your average sales price is going to be really important because on average, the higher dollar amount your books are selling for, the more money's coming in your bank account, which sounds obvious, but when Amazon raises fees, which they always do, if your profit's $1 on average per book and Amazon introduces a $1 fee, you're out of business. But if your profit on average per book is $10 and they introduce a $1 fee, you're still left with $9. So the margin is protected. Next thing you can do is find more profitable inventory. Go out, scan books. Like, this is the number one thing you should be doing. That was a little redundant. I don't know why I put that on there twice. Probably because finding inventory is important. All right, last thing is listing. So listing is a $12 to $20 an hour job. You can pay somebody $12 to $20 an hour to do it. Sourcing, on the other hand, going out, finding profitable inventory, negotiating backroom access, doing all the strategies I laid out here, that's a $200 per hour job. It's not uncommon to make even more than $200 in an hour going out and scanning books. So focus your time on sourcing, not on listing. That doesn't mean ignore listing, because if you never list your inventory, you're never going to sell it. It just means don't make listing the focus and don't waste time on listing. So I'll show you how fast I can list. I put 25 books on here. I don't think I have 25 books today, but I do have a stack filled with books. I'm going to show you how fast you can list these books real quick. All right, so I'm going to show you guys how to list books quickly, get them out the door to Amazon FBA, and how to make sure you're making as much profit as possible on the book. So we're going to select, this is within GoToList software. You can click the link below if you want to give it a free trial. And we're just going to name the batch, my name dash today's date. We're going to use smart pricing, which is going to allow us to make more profit on the books. Listed by, I'm going to put my name in here. Shipping from, just make sure your address is in there. Who labels? I want to label my products. You're going to save 30 cents for labeling your own products. And all you're going to do is use these F and SKU labels. You'll put these on the book. And that way you save 30 cents. Amazon charges 30 cents to do this for you. So we're just going to do it ourselves. And I use a Rollo printer right here. I'll link that below too if you guys want. A little bit expensive, but it's worth it. It'll pay for itself pretty quickly. Select packing type. I'm packing individual units, and then put I want to provide box content. So this is how you set up a batch for books to Amazon FBA. We'll click on create batch here, and then we'll select good for good condition. VG is for very good. So if you want, you can list your books as very good. I like to list all my books as good. I like to under promise, over deliver. So I like to put, hey, this book's good condition, even if it's like new. The customer is never going to be upset in that scenario. For source, we just put where we got the book. So let's just say you got the book from Savers. You can put Savers in here, add Savers as source. Let's say you paid an average of $1.75 per book. That's going to remember your buy cost here. And all of this information is going to be put into the SKUs. That's what makes it really cool. For the condition description, I like to use something generic. That way I can list my books fast and I do not have to constantly change it. So because I'm using a generic condition note, I don't have to change the condition for each book. But if there is a book that has, something peculiar about it, or it's a first edition book, I will actually note that here. So I'll change the condition and I'll just add like signed copy if it's a signed copy. Little things like that. But generally, I just use this condition note here. You guys can use something similar. You can use fast shipping, ships directly from Amazon, 100% satisfaction, something like that. Okay, so now we're ready to scan these books. I'm going to select the scan box here. And as you can see, I have this stack of probably about 10 books. And I'm going to show you why GoToList is the fastest listing software on the planet. So I stacked all these books barcode up. It's going to allow you to scan much faster versus, having to find where the barcode is. These are all ready to go. So check this out. I can scan 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And as you can see, only one label has come out so far. That's how slow Amazon processes GoToList's request. Any listing software is going to have to wait for Amazon to return the response time. The difference with GoToList is we let you scan all the books in, and Amazon can take their sweet time, but we've already queued all these books in. So now they're waiting in line at Amazon for their effing SKU. And you can do better things with your time, like drink an energy drink while you're waiting for these to come out. Or you can be productive and start labeling the books that have already come out. So I already have these. So I can take these labels and I can go ahead and cover up the barcode. So this is how you properly label a book. You take the barcode here and you cover it up with the new FNSKU label, just like that. So now you know how you can label the book, save 30 cents per book, and we're going to ship these to Amazon. So all we have to do is label these and then click on send batch. And it's going to tell us what warehouse each book is going to. Fingers crossed, they all go to one warehouse. But unfortunately, Amazon wants us to send these to 2 different warehouses. So we can either go back and list more books, which is what I recommend. Really beef up these boxes, because you don't want to send 3 books to one warehouse. You'll overpay for shipping. So we'll click on cancel. And I have an in-depth video breaking down how to do box contents below, which is really going to show you how to build a big shipment. And then if Amazon wants you to send different books to different warehouses, that's fine. GoToList has a really simple flow where you can just scan the book. It tells you what box to put it in. And you can put up a few boxes in your living room and quickly fill the boxes up. And then each box is going to go to a different warehouse destination that Amazon wants to go to. So I'll link that below. That's the box content GoToList video. But in the meantime, I promised to help you guys not only list books. So I showed you guys how you can list books. You scan the book, put the label on, and we're using GoToList because I truly believe, if you're going to be running this business, sourcing is a $200 per hour activity. If you're going to be wasting your time listing items slow on Seller Central, you're just spending hours listing items when you could be listing them faster and then going out and finding more inventory. So this doesn't make sense to me. If you're gonna get really good at this high dollar per hour activity, to take a step backwards and waste your time with unproductive listings. So that's why I created GoToList, was to help you guys list items faster and stop wasting time listing items so slow. But again, so my first promise was to help you guys list. My second promise was to help you guys make more profit on the items that you're sending in. And that's what GoToList does. It automatically prices your faster moving inventory at higher prices. So you can see we have something called smart pricing, which will price your faster moving books at slightly higher prices. So GoToList tells you what offer was selected. So in this case, FBA Slot 3 was selected. And all that means, I'll show you guys on Amazon real quick. FBA Slot 3 simply means the third lowest FBA offer was selected. So if you're on Amazon, this is the buy box price. This is what they're displaying. So if you're in the buy box, like this guy is, M&T Books Collectibles, you're most likely going to get the next sale. That's where we want to be. But on faster moving books, sometimes it's worth pricing a little bit higher. So if we click on other offers down here, what we can do is filter by Prime. And so now we're only looking at Prime offers. So these are offers that offer 2-day shipping. And we can see our competition here, Book to the Future. And we have Corrigan Family Books. We have these 2 books for sale. One is at $35. This is the lowest Prime offer. He's not in the buy box. This $49 offer is above the buy box price. And as you can see, GoToList actually did price it at the higher price. So we priced $6 above the buy box. So we're going to make an extra $6 on this book. If it sells at that price, of course, it's no guarantee. But this is a pretty fast moving book, 146,000 sales rank. And we're going to price it just a little bit higher, and good chance that, it sells at this higher price. So hopefully that makes sense. Like, we're going to price books that have higher chances of selling at higher prices higher because you make more money versus just pricing at the buy box or the lowest price. Here's another example. Smart pricing selected FBA Slot 4. That's the absolute best case scenario. When you see GoToList selected FBA Slot 4, there's not really much for you to do. because you know that GoToLister did its job of pricing your faster moving book higher. And the reason why I say GoToLister did its job is Amazon makes it difficult for any software, Scout IQ, GoToLister, any of these third-party softwares to price, to always see the lowest FBA offers. You see, Amazon wants to keep the prices low to keep the customer happy. Amazon's a consumer-centric business. They don't want us pricing our books higher for more profit. They don't want us pricing our items higher. So what they do is they hide the FBA offers sometimes from GoToLister or from Scout IQ. And so when it is available, it's a good sign. They only show us the lowest 20 offers. And if the FBA offers don't exist in those lowest 20 offers, we're essentially blind to that data. So that's why it's important to manually price your book sometimes. That's why we built GoToLister the way we have, where we show you all the prices here that are available. But if GoToLister doesn't have the data, let's say GoToLister doesn't have the FBA slots. So you can see right here, we have 2 used FBA offers available. Maybe there's more. You know, you can click here on the book, open up the listing on Amazon, go down to the filter that I just selected. So look at new and used. Now we can compare against all these prices. So let's go to the filter and let's filter by Prime. And now let's look at all the Prime offers. So let's see if GoToLister really had all the data. It didn't. You see, Amazon's hiding this data from GoToLister and every other listing software and every other Amazon software out there. We cannot see this. So you can see there's 1, 2, 3, 4, at least 4, 5, 6. There's a ton of FBA offers. Now what we can do, if you wanted to, you could, I mean, this is a big Prime bump. It goes from $19. When this guy sells out on-time books, the next offer is $31. That's a $10 difference or $12 difference right here. You know, so that just goes to show, like, pricing does make a huge impact on how much profit you make. And something else we do at GoToLister is we notify you when there are no FBA offers. So as you can see, there's this purple notification that will pop up whenever there are 0 FBA offers on the listing. This is letting you know, hey, you could price this at a much higher price because there's no FBA competition. There's no other FBA sellers. And if you're using smart pricing, GoToLister will automatically price these books at a 20% price bump. But I highly recommend you actually look at the price history of the item. And since there's no competition, sometimes you can price these items for like 50 to 100% higher price if the sales history proves that it was actually, you know, selling at that price in the past. So definitely look into the 0 FBA offers. We also tell you if there's no offers at all, there'll be an orange notification that appears. And so before you submit your batch and finish your shipment, I would always go through your batch, look for any of these purple notifications. Those are little golden nuggets. They're going to allow you to have this information to price your books at higher prices. And no repricer or listing software is going to price your items perfectly. That's why we give you notifications. Hey, we think that you should price this item yourself, because there's no competition. And so yeah, do a double check right before you submit your batch. And then if you guys want a complete tutorial on how to prep and pack a shipment, then I'll link that below, GoToLister tutorial, and that'll show you, you know, how to box up your items, pack up the box, all that. But I showed you the gist of it today. You create your batch, scan the book, put the label on it, send the batch, put your books in the box, drop them off at UPS, and you're good to go. So much love, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed that video. And that is how you sell 100,000 on Amazon, guaranteed, if you source 120 books a week that are good and you sell those books, obviously. So much love. See you guys in the next video.
Playing to win, ain't that what it's about? Can't stop, won't stop. I'm en route. I'm claiming what's mine. I'm taking a chance. I'm a mathematician. I'm making it.